Thank you very much. Try to practice planetary health with an iPad. So, good morning, everyone. Yang Bahamut Datuk Seri Dr. Zulfikli, Minister of Health, and also Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. We gather today in the ever-greener metropolis of Kuala Lumpur, representing a wide range of disciplines, backgrounds, and affiliations, as Dr. Jamila mentioned earlier. Yet beneath the diversity lies a shared conviction in the power of collective action. On behalf of the United Nations family, thank you for your commitment to planetary health. I also extend my appreciation to the Government of Malaysia, the Sunway Center for Planetary Health, and the Planetary Health Alliance for organizing this summit and the annual meeting. You are pioneering the very stewardship that is essential to the healthy and sustainable future. UNDP is proud to be a partner and a collaborator of the planetary health. This is a pivotal juncture in human history. UNDP's Human Development Report 2023-2024 describes a dangerous global gridlock. Systemic and interlinked challenges are hindering human progress. This includes accelerating global conflicts, the escalating climate and biodiversity crisis, and the widening social and economic inequity. As was mentioned earlier in a video message, 6 out of the 9 planetary boundaries have been breached, and the polarization within countries is growing, stifling international cooperation. And beyond the gaps in well-being, there's also a gap in agency, with many people feeling powerless. The Human Development Report shows that half of the global population does not feel in control of their own lives. 7 out of every 10 people believe they have little influence in their political system. Yet, this UNDP Human Development Report also serves as a rallying cry to turn crises into catalysts for transformation and systems change. It draws attention to the tremendous opportunity of today's world. That includes technological advances, increasing climate action awareness, and the growing consensus on the need for sustainable development. Global clean energy investment reached an all-time high of $1.8 trillion in 2023, and nearly 70% of people worldwide now say that they're willing to sacrifice some of their income for climate change mitigation. Over the past 10 years, many countries have boosted human development without increasing planetary pressures. So this leads me to the theme of my remarks, the global stewardship for the great transition that has also been mentioned by previous speakers. Like Dr. Jamila, right, let us also explore the great transition, right, by imagining what can happen. As it has been said that the best way to predict the future is to invent it. I invite each of you to embrace on a journey of invention, envision a world where human action is in perfect harmony with nature. Right? In this world, we embrace our deep interconnectedness in every respect, from how we live and produce to how we consume and measure progress. Sustainability, equity, and inclusion are lived realities. In this world, Agenda 2030 is achieved not as our final destination, but rather as our foundation on which we build further progress. So if you take away one message from me today, it should be that this world is still possible. The planetary health approach can break the gridlock that is impeding human development. We see the growing impact of this approach from the UN recognizing the right to a clean, healthy, and sustainable environment through a General Assembly resolution to the historical Declaration on Climate and Health at COP28. We are also seeing the signals of transformation worldwide. Much of the Amazon rainforest now thrives under indigenous management, preserving biodiversity and storing millions of tons of carbon dioxide, the case that, again, Dr. Jamila mentioned. In a bold display of climate justice, Europe's highest court delivered a landmark judgment recently, affirming countries' obligations to protect their people from the consequences of climate change. Furthermore, Portugal recently ran on 100% of renewable energy for 6 straight days, signaling that a clean energy future may just be around the corner. Our challenge, and indeed our responsibility, is to take this success to scale, at the scale needed and the speed needed. Right? For this, we need a 21st century model of global stewardship. This must weave the planetary health approach into the very fabric of governance, policy, and practice. It must put equity, resilience, and sustainability at the core of our global systems, anchored in science, human rights, and revitalized cooperation. And it must acknowledge that planetary public goods are global public goods. That includes climate action, pandemic preparedness, and biodiversity preservation. This year's Summit of the Future at the United Nations in September is our next opportunity to move beyond radically reimagining our approaches towards radically reshaping them. Allow me to briefly touch on 5 key shifts that I think we must accelerate. Right. First, we must embrace the data-informed future for all. Right. Multidimensional data is our compass for planetary health. In Burundi, Chad, and Sudan, an AI-driven project supported by the UN is helping to analyze past environmental changes and predict future scenarios. This is informing adaptation and humanitarian actions. All countries must have modern data tools and technologies as well as capabilities to use this. The UN Secretary General's Early Warnings for All initiative is leveraging AI's predictive abilities to ensure everyone on Earth is protected from hazardous events. But we must also consider the climate and environmental footprint of AI and the digital technologies. Data is also crucial to bring key actors such as finance ministries and the businesses into the planetary health movement. For example, economic analysis on the impacts of air pollution can help show that planetary health is an investment with high rates of return. We must also democratize data access and protect data privacy rights. That means empowering diverse stakeholders, from women to local farmers to indigenous communities, to shape and influence the design and the use of data systems. Second, we need a commitment to fostering and scaling innovation and integrate this into our daily lives and systems. This commitment must be coupled with an unprecedented strengthening of alliances across public and private sectors, civil society, communities, and more. Revolutionary approaches in water stewardship offer an example. Domestic water use has surged by 600% over the last 50 years, and 1/4 of the Earth's population now faces high water stress. In response, a women-led NGO in Morocco has designed and installed the world's largest fog water harvesting system, bringing reliable water access to 5 villages. I still remember the inspirational video that I saw in 2016. Or consider these opportunities in making health systems future smart and future ready. UNDP, for example, is working with many partner countries, right? And also with funding partners such as the Global Fund, Gavi, and others to support countries in scaling up smart health facilities. This improves healthcare resilience and access with an integrated package of renewable energy and digital capabilities and the solutions. Imagine that you have a set of rural health stations that have been built, but if you provide them with power, provide them with connectivity, you create new opportunities for big data applications and for policy analysis based on these data sets. Right? So to scale up this support to countries, the Green Climate Fund, UNDP, and the WHO are developing a new global climate and health co-investment facility. Right? So this and other partnerships, right, and such as the Africa Mini-Grids program, right, and are contributing to our goal of secure, clean, and energy access for 500 million people by 2025. Right? The third acceleration we must have is that planetary health requires healthy finance. Right? We must accelerate the financing for development. We must fundamentally realign global financial systems towards the health and the well-being of people and the planet. Fossil fuel companies were handed $7 trillion in subsidies in 2022. Yet annual climate adaptation finance has never exceeded $63 billion. And 70% of the climate finance takes the form of debt. Right? So rather than sealing holes in our boat, we are scooping water out with a spoon. Right? Yet, right, we see steps in the right direction. COP28 ended with an agreement that signals the beginning of the end of the fossil fuel era. It also activated the Lost and Damaged Fund to benefit more than 3 billion people with more than $700 million of pledges to date. This is a promising start towards a greater climate justice. The Bridgetown Agenda's special debt clause that relates to the automatic conditions triggered by major disasters, right, promises to free up trillions of dollars for investment in health, climate, nature, and the sustainable development goals. So financing innovations are happening in countries and the communities. UNDP's flagship biodiversity financing program, BioFin, right, is working across 41 countries, including in Malaysia, to deliver hundreds of innovative finance solutions for people and the planet. Right? That includes repurposing harmful subsidies, enhancing public finance management, and leveraging private sector finance for nature-positive development. Fourth, we must institutionalize the participation of affected groups in decision-making, including indigenous and marginalized communities, women and the youth. We need to move from advocating to practicing this at scale. This is crucial to achieving fair, effective, and lasting planetary health strategies. The Asia-Pacific region has been at the forefront of converging community and global stewardship. In New Zealand, collaboration between the government and the Maori communities has improved the natural resource management and the conservation and strengthened cultural ties. In Nepal, community-based approach to forest management have not only preserved the forests, but also alleviated poverty in rural areas. Young people are also central to unlocking solutions for planetary health and must be engaged in governance and policy making, including through platforms like Youth for Climate and many other platforms that different UN agencies support in different locations. Finally, to bring all this together, we must put the plan in planetary health in place. So multidimensional planning and the policy frameworks are crucial for systems change and mainstreaming planetary health. I commend the groundbreaking efforts for Malaysia to become the first country in the world to develop a national planetary health action plan. This sets a powerful precedent for all other UN member states to follow. I also congratulate the Sunway Center for Planetary Health and the Planetary Health Alliance for developing the Planetary Health Roadmap and Action Plan that will be discussed on Friday, and the Sunway University for mainstreaming the planetary health approach into the university's curriculum. UNDP stands ready to support such bold and timely action. Ambition and urgency are at the heart of our climate promise, an initiative that supports more than 20 countries to scale their climate community under the Paris Agreement. We know that the first generation of NDCs in Paris delivered a 3-degree world, and the second generation of NDCs, the first update, national updates at COP26, delivered a 2-degree world. But we know that 1.5 degree is what science tells us. So the third generation of NDCs by next year needs to deliver 1.5 degrees, right? So this is what we try to achieve through our climate promise effort. So thanks to the efforts of WHO and many others, more and more countries are considering health in their nationally determined contributions. Right? So dear friends and colleagues, in the words of Desmond Tutu, hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. And these words remind us to find the resolve and the determination amid our greatest challenges and the most uncertain times. History shows that this is indeed possible. Right? So the Kuala Lumpur call to action and the momentum for change across the world must continue to spark all of us to act with ambition and urgency together. We have the power to invent a very different future where both planet and the people can thrive. Thank you very much for your kind attention.